Want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Why this beat so crazy?
We will make America proud again. And you try to kill our we will make America wealthy again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
We've got new information for you about massive fraud in the Feeding Our Future investigation. One of the ringleaders is going to prison for nearly 30 years.
Investigative reporter Eric Rasmussen was in federal court today where prosecutors hoped to send a message.
Prosecutors are calling for a, quote, condemnation of government fraud, not just in this case, but also for so many others throughout Minnesota.
You got to put your hands behind your back. Jail, prison, slam a yard, turn the lights off, pitch black, slam the door. Somalia, Minnesota. What the hell is going on in Minnesota? Don't worry. We're here to give it coverage. We're here to expose it in broad daylight. Some of the biggest things that are going on down there, it ought to be so many people walked out in handcuffs, so many investigations that government need to be walked out. Tampon Tim, stolen valor, Tim Walz. I tell you, got people down there getting assassinated, political assassins. There's all kind of people writing letters to the FBI. Some of the biggest frauds, the biggest scandals, the biggest corruption going on down there in Minnesota. Not just Minnesota, other places as well. But don't worry, we are here to expose it in broad daylight. It's not getting enough coverage. And here we are. 28 years, hell, I say give them 48, 58, double it, triple it. Jail, prison, slam a yard, turn the lights off, slam the door, pitch black. I'm rooting for y'all to go to jail. All you Somalians and down there, they ought to walk that lady out in Congress. She said we must fear white people. We must fear the white man. They ought to revoke her citizenship and deport that heifer. She shouldn't be in Congress. What Ilhan Omar making love to her brother, rubbing all on her brother's scalp and massaging his back. A disgrace.
28 years for Abdiaziz Farah, now one of the longest prison sentences for white-collar crime in the state's history. Among more than 70 defendants, prosecutors put him at the top of a $300 million fraud pyramid, with the likes of Feeding Our Future founder Amy Bach and Salim Saeed. Now, Abdiaziz Farah is headed to federal prison for 28 years for his role in stealing taxpayer money meant to help feed kids during the pandemic. Judge Nancy Brazel saying in court, "I cannot find any reason for the behavior other than pure unmitigated greed."
Not only took tens of millions of dollars, but laundered much of it abroad and sent much of it to Kenya, among other things.
Lead prosecutor Joe Thompson was asking for 30 years, calling it the kind of nightmare in Minnesota, where he recently told 5 Eyewitness News government fraud overall could exceed $1 billion.
Does a sentence like this one get you any closer to recovering more money for taxpayers?
Well, it speeds it up. Now that he's been sentenced, we can actually execute on that forfeiture, sell that property off, and return it to the taxpayers.
With his family in the gallery at the federal courthouse in Minneapolis, Farah said, "I want to apologize to the state and the country that has given me so much." But that apology focused largely on his admitted attempt to bribe a juror at the end of his trial last year.
We don't give a damn about your apology. I'm telling you, we don't care about no apology. The country that has given me so much. Yeah, we there. This country's giving y'all so much.
The sense I got was he's sorry he got caught.
The U.S. Attorney's Office estimates they've been able to
so
get
sorry.
back
I'm so sorry.
$60 to $70 million so far. But prosecutors point out that money Farah sent overseas will likely never be recovered.
Come on, we feeding the kids. Y'all feeding the kids. I tell you, the hell with these Democrats. A lot of them ought to be put in jail, prison, walked out. That government need to be walked out. I tell you, it's so much fraud, so much scandals going on down there. And it's like from category to category to category. It's a disgrace what's going on in Minnesota. And don't worry, we're here to talk about it. We're here to expose it in broad daylight. Don't worry. But before we continue with the show, what's going on, family? I hope everybody's in good spirits, that you're having a great week so far. Happy Monday to everybody. You know, we are rocking and rolling in 2025, man. And I told y'all every single day, we're going to call it for what it is. We are also going to be talking about things and showing things that's not getting enough coverage. Things, you know, I'm telling you, we're going to be putting it all out there. You know, we're going to be exposing the corruption in broad daylight on this channel. You got doggone right, you know. And we rooting for somebody to go to jail, prison, slam a yard, turn the lights off. Somebody got to put their hands behind their back. Somebody. Yeah, we don't know who it's going to be next, but somebody got to put their hands behind their back. Got doggone right. Got doggone right. But this lady here, you know, this is actually down there in Congress. You just can't make it up, you know. And then you got people hollering and screaming to the top of their lungs, crying, playing victim, pulling the race card, and it's all the same messaging, same scripts. Trump, 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 Trump. It's Trump and Republicans. Trump and his rich buddies. Trump, Trump, Trump. White supremacy, white people. It's white people's fault. You know, I tell you. And these people here are some of the biggest crooks, criminals, the biggest frauds, the biggest scammers. Look, so now we're back on this Feeding Our Future scandal. You know, the free food scandal. You know, they said it was $250 million. Was it $400 million? I tell you, man. But now Ilhan Omar has pled guilty and a close associate. Let me get it right, because, you know, they reach out. Rick, what did you just say? A close associate of Ilhan Omar has pled guilty to 2 felony counts in the Feeding Our Future case. Gahi Gahash said he's become the 52nd defendant overall convicted in the free food scandal. You just can't make this up. You just can't, you know. And they ought to walk Tampon Tim out in handcuffs. This governor down there, you know, because he has so many ties into so many things that's going on down there in Minnesota. They ought to walk his butt out. But Tampon Tim let Somalia invaders fraudulently steal $500 million since he's been in office. And MSN runs 0 stories about it. I'm telling you, it's not getting enough. A lot of things that's going on down there in Minnesota, it's not getting enough coverage, and it's fraud everywhere. But Feeding Our Future food aid fraud from 2020 to 2022, at least 70 defendants were charged in the largest COVID-era food aid fraud in U.S. history, with around 240 to 250 stolen from the Federal Child Nutrition Program in Minnesota. Medicaid fraud. In December 2024, 3 individuals were indicted for a scheme to defraud Medicaid via outpatient drug alcohol program involving wire fraud and money laundering. Also, house and rental assistance fraud. It's just fraud everywhere. Medicaid fraud, house rental assistance fraud, just fraud everywhere. Like I've been saying, it is not getting enough coverage, and he ought to be walked out in handcuffs. This governor. Minnesota Housing Finance Authority investigation identified 72 fraudulent payments referred for criminal prosecution, leading to 22 state charges involving $1.1 million stolen. Only 3 have been convicted so far. I was a knucklehead at times. You know, I tell you, man, we dodged a bullet. This was actually on the ticket. Talking about, we're going to get the men vote back. We're going to get the white men vote back. I'm going to show you how to work on my truck. I'm going to show you how to change the air filter. I'm telling you, we got news for you, Tampon Tim. We don't want tampons in men and boys' restrooms. And them patriots know how to change their whole transmission and motor in their driveway. We don't give a damn about you changing your air filter in your old pickup truck. You know, and when they did that ad, it sounded like the truck running bad anyways. You know, you got some bigger things to worry about, Tampon Tim, and they ought to walk your butt out in handcuffs. Well, look at this lady here. And they ought to walk this heifer out to revoke her citizenship, and she ought to be deported. We must fear white people in the country.
A lot of conservatives in particular would say that the rise in Islamophobia is a result not of hate, but a fear, a legitimate fear, they say, of quote-unquote jihadist terrorism, whether it's Fort Hood or San Bernardino or the recent truck attack in New York. What do you say to them?
I would say our country should be more fearful of white men across our country, because they are actually causing most of the deaths within this country. And so if fear was the driving force of policies to keep America safe, Americans safe inside of this country, we should be profiling, monitoring, and creating policies to fight the radicalization of white men.
White men, y'all. White people. We must fear the white men in the country. You know. And she also called Americans dumb, idiots. You know. But other people say she should be deported back to Somalia for committing immigration fraud, marrying her brother, and dozens of other acts. 80,000 Somalians elected her.
These people are just idiots. I really, I'm at the point where it's become really hard to have an intellectual debate with any of these people, because the level of stupidity that they are displaying every single day is frankly embarrassing, not just in Congress, but as Americans. And the fact that these people are allowed to say just the most ridiculous things tells you that the dumbing of the United States has arrived, because how else do we get a Trump presidency again?
How else do we get a Trump presidency again? I tell you, man, you just can't make it up. You know, you just can't. Yeah. People are getting them big years, and I love this. But 28 years in prison, almost 30 years in prison for this feeding our future scandal, the free food scandal. You know, but. And I ask y'all, what seems similar in this, and then what's going on down there in Minnesota from these mugshots? Y'all see this? Yeah. You know, you just can't make it up. But 28 years for masterminding a millions of dollar COVID food grant fraud in Minnesota, exploiting funds meant for hungry kids. For hungry kids, you know, Democrats always come out and say, we care for our kids. We care for the community. We care for the homeless. We care for the veterans. And comes to find out they run these, you know, these programs, these fundraisers, these nonprofit, and it come to find out they're putting money in their pockets, headed to the bank, laughing and smiling. Yeah. And I'm rooting for all you frauds to be exposed. You got doggone right. I'm rooting for y'all to be walked out with your hands behind your back. I'm rooting for you to get these beautiful years. 28 years, and God dog it, I think he need more. I think he need to sit his butt in there for another 30, 40. I think they ought to made it even. They should have added 12. It'd have been 40 years. I think he ought to sit his butt in there for 40 years. We care for our kids, you know. Thought you could get away, huh? Yeah, seen that money and started smiling, didn't you? And then when y'all get caught, I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Nah, too late now. Part of a $250 million fee scam, the case reveals systematic failures. Launch cash into luxury cars, overseas homes. Because, you know, overseas, you can be, you know, with that beautiful American money, you can, in currency, you can go over there and build about 4, 5, 6, 10, 12, 30 houses for the price of one down here in America. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Ask me how I know. I traveled overseas. I've seen the real estate overseas and the pricing. I've gotten prices and stuff, you know. I'm a homeowner here in Houston, in Texas. You know. I tell you, you go overseas, you can build 3, 4, 30, 20 houses for the price of one. Maybe like 2 or 3 or 5, 6. You know, but them prices are different over there, man. You know. Yeah, you can get a lot of bang for your buck across the country, I tell you. But 70 indicted. But where was the oversight? I tell you, man, this is good. This is good. I love seeing these mug shots. I love seeing these jumpsuits. I love when y'all butt is walked out. You know. But so far, 73 has been charged in the case. You know, millions stolen. You know, the free food scam meant for hungry children. You know, just can't make this up, man. You know, but we definitely want to bring this to light, and we're going to continue to bring things to light that's going on down there in Minnesota. We are not going to stop. We are going to stay on it. And if you're new here, join the family. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button for your boy, share the video. We keeping it real, man. Let me know what y'all think of this. And again, if y'all want to bring anything to my attention or want me to do a video on something or something else that's not getting enough coverage and I might have missed it, send it to me, email it to me, spam it to me, you know. But I love you guys, man. God bless you all and your family, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace and love, you guys.